There he is. What's up, man?
What's happening, brother?
Got
It's a
all
little
the arcades queued up.
yeah. I turned a few of the machines on. They're going through their track mode right now, so they'll shut up here in another minute or so. But yeah, is everything good? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Cool. I
Yeah.
can. All right, yeah, man, you're nice and loud. So yeah,
Awesome, brother. Awesome. Well, John Carver here. Welcome to I Ask No One, my brother. Cheers.
yeah. It looks like I'm drinking whiskey at 11 o'clock in the morning, but it's actually whiskey barrel aged coffee I got in Manhattan from Starbucks and brewed it home at yourself. So it's pretty damn delicious.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'm hearing some very familiar Mortal Kombat sounds back there, and we'll definitely get into it. Wow. I'm just
Right here. Yeah, I got one, two, UMK3, MK4. I had to. It's actually a LED, so the marquee looks completely washed out because it's so bright. The others are the original halogen bulbs in the marquee, so they actually look fantastic.
Yeah, not judging anything regarding that Mortal Kombat 4. This is just absolutely spectacular. And to our viewers, yeah, John Carver, a part of Alice in Chains' past, present, and future. Honored to shoot the shit with a pal of mine who I just so happened to meet in the Rams Head in Baltimore, Maryland in geez, I want to say it was 2022 on the Jerry Cantrell tour. It was 22 or 23. 22.
Yeah, I thought it was even further back than that, to be honest.
Yeah, it was definitely 22. And John was working the meet and greet for all of us fans who were going to meet Jerry Cantrell, our hero. And man, you just left an impression during that experience. You're doing a really good job representing the band and everybody well.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's kind of one of the many hats that I've been given gratefully. Very happy to do it. But yeah, when Jerry started going out doing this solo run, we started doing his VIP meet and greet, and they asked if I would, spearhead that. And yeah, man, it's been great. He's really enjoys seeing the fans, and it's a really big part of the experience for fans to come out, get a chance to meet, a legend, if you will. I mean, let's all agree the guy's one of the greatest guitarists ever, right? So getting to do it's a real pleasure and an honor.
Yeah, fuck yes. I like to start off the top of every episode with a little musical fact of the day. So
Right.
today, hard to believe, April the 3rd, already post Easter, Sebastian Bach, actually a soon-to-be guest on I Ask No One, formerly of Skid Row. He turns 56 today. 56 going on 22, 23,
Right.
I've got his book there I've yet to read, but he's got a new record coming out May the 10th, Child Within the Man. So we'll be talking about that in a future episode. But I was doing my research too, John, and
Yeah.
Alice in Chains' Dirt record, they started recording this month, 32 years ago in LA and Seattle. What a
Okay.
brilliant record that is, right?
Oh man, who didn't, at least if they're in our age bracket, 40s on up. I hate to admit that, but yeah, we all grew up hearing that record and coming home from school and seeing, in fact, I got the TV going on in the background, and man, the box was just playing. But yeah, coming home and seeing music videos on MTV and just growing up. That album, my friends and I were always like, you could play, I think, start to finish. Every track is awesome and iconic. It's really that's awesome. I didn't know 32 years ago. Wow, dating
Yeah,
ourselves. That's rad.
pretty wild. You feeling old? I don't know. I think aging is pretty fun, isn't it? The metal keeps us young.
Yeah, there's times I feel old, just being a guy in his early 40s. My body tells me, hey, there's some things that you can't do anymore, but trying to stay in shape with everything we talked about off camera before. But no, man, it's just a number, you know. I'm gonna do all the stuff that we talked about until they put me in the ground.
Damn
So
right. That includes some dumbbell curls, right? I know you got some biceps there.
yeah, that's on Fridays. We have legs coming up, but yeah, I'll give you one of those.
Yeah. Boom.
All
Yep,
the things
love it.
that we do. So, but
Well,
yeah,
John chose a quote for today from Eleanor Roosevelt. How about that? Today is the oldest you've ever been and the youngest you'll ever be. I've never heard that before. And
It scares the shit out of me when you actually think about it. It kind of cuts deep. So when we talked about that again off camera, it was one of those that when I read your question, I was like, I don't know if I really have a favorite music lyric, but the quote, again, I didn't know that was from Roosevelt, but I just remember seeing it long time ago. And it was one of those things that really cut deep. I'm like, man, that fuck, that's so true. So it was one of those things that when you think about it, it kind of motivates you to get off your ass and move, whether it be a goal in mind, work, going to the gym, whatever. You know, we're not getting any younger, man, and it is flying by fast. Like you mentioned, dirt 32 years ago. Holy shit. So definitely sets pace for some motivation.
Yes, great quote. We have John Carver here, Alice in Chains, Jerry Cantrell, Seether, ROADIE, man of many hats and many hobbies, which we'll get into. So, but right at the top, April of 2021, I called it on I Asked No One when I was just starting up the podcast. I called it Alice in April, and I had an opportunity to connect with Hubba Hubba, who is known for the Pearl Jam stick figure tattoo. He actually made that.
Oh,
Check
wow.
that
Okay.
episode out up here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he tattooed Jerry Cantrell in the late 90s or something like that.
Okay.
And then I had Paul Rackman on, who you mentioned Man in the Box. He directed Man in the Box, and we went into that, and he directed, Psycho Holiday and some of these Pantera music videos. And then Scotty Dachroeden, God bless his soul. We'll get talking about Scotty, but we
Don't
got
make me
John
cry.
Carver here, and brother, how the hell did you get hooked up with Alice in Chains?
Well, as short as possible. Like probably everybody in this business, we all start off as musicians, myself included. Um, my story, I'll make it as brief as possible when I got into the business, and then I'll get into how I got picked up with Alice. Um, Started off playing music like just about everybody. I met a friend of mine who's now a very dear friend of mine named Bobby. Bobby, unbeknownst to me, though, for the first 3 years of being friends with this guy, we would play poker together. Back when I used to drink, we'd enjoy a few beers and play poker and play guitar together. And then finally, after about 3 years, I get to this guy's house and I see all of his records on his wall and realize that he wasn't just some local guru. He was somebody. Well, Bobby, he
You
um,
finisher.
right. Bobby was or is he's with Aerosmith for a long time. He was like a hired gun with Weezer. He's been a guitar tech for just about anybody and everybody you can imagine. So became a really good friend of mine, taught me how to set up my first guitar. So I became a guitar tech. And then years later, like in the early 2010s, I guess, I got picked up with doing merch. A good buddy of mine was out that I met on tour named Mike, and he was working with Bravado, and just he's like, hey, we need some merchandisers. Would you mind, giving it a crack? I'm like, yeah, shit, why not? Because we all know as guitar techs, to be in with a good band at that level, you've got to, it's almost like hitting the lottery, I guess. Kind of a letter of recommendation from somebody if you're lucky enough. They either got to, retire or get fired, for you even getting in that position. So I was like, yeah, you know what? It was a time where I was like, we're all need to make a paycheck. So I gave merch a shot. So a few years went by doing that. And then I was actually out with Brian Adams, Summer 69 guy, not Ryan, but Brian Adams. And I get a phone call from my buddy Ed, who was the head of the touring department. And he goes, hey, I need you to be on a plane tomorrow to Boston. I think it was about 8 years ago now that I've been with Alice. And I was like, all right, what's going on? He goes, you're not with Alice in Chains. I'm like, really? All right. And for me, it was just a job. I was like, all right, cool. I told the camp, I was like, hey, sorry, they're bringing somebody out. I got to go fill in on this gig. And that was my first tour with Alice. And that was a little over 8 years ago, or right on 8 years ago. And the first tour was interesting. I do have to say, coming from being a guitar tech, jumping into the merch role, dude, merch guys are the redheaded stepchildren. Really are, man. They're the castaways. They're the ones that are kind of swept under the rug. You're just fucking swaggy. And I gotta say, the first person I met that morning on my first day with Alice, I met Herb in the lobby of the hotel. And I gotta tell you, from that point on, I was like, that guy is the shit. Very warm, very welcoming. He was like, "Hey, I'm Herb. You know, I'll look after Jerry." And I was like, "I'm John." You know, and he goes, "Oh, you're our new merch guy." Yeah, yeah. I was like, "Yeah, I'll stay out of the way and just whatever you guys need." He goes, "Oh, fuck that, man. You're one of us." And from that point right there, I was like, just an overwhelming sense of relief and acceptance, and just felt like one of the guys immediately. First day, then I got on the bus to claim whatever bunk I could, and then the next person I met from that point was Keenan. Didn't know that was Shaun's nephew at the time, but that guy I love to death. Keenan is amazing. I look at him as like my little brother. He is awesome, and he is going places, man. A fantastic drummer. I know I'm kind of rattling on, but anyway, that was my first gig. I met Scotty right after that. It was a short run. It was like 6 weeks. North American. It was awesome because it was just it was Alice with an opener and like a club setting. A couple 2,000-3,000 seats, 4,000, some of the bigger places, but it was really cool. It was intimate. Like first show was House of Blues Boston that I ever did with Alice. I met Scotty, and right there it was like, man, we hit it off. And then he was also from St. Louis, so right there it was just kind of, hey, um, but then he brought me in the first days off, man. It was me, Mike Inez, and Scotty. And it was like, three amigos right there. And it was like family from day one. And I know that's a long story short, but here we go. It's getting a little longer. But after that tour, Alice had moved. They switched contracts with companies that they were signed with. So I knew that they were going back out. I think it was like a year later or something like that. So I called Scotty and I was like, "Hey, man, I know you guys are going out soon, and I heard rumors that they had, signed a new contract." And he goes, "Hang on, I'll call you back." And no bullshit. I was standing in my driveway, talking to Scotty. He goes, "Yeah, call you right back." Within 30 to 40 minutes, I get a text message, and it was a screenshot. He goes, "Talk to Mike, talk to Jerry. Yeah, you're in." I was like, "What?" And he showed me the screenshot of the conversation, and I was just blown away, man, that he went out of his way. So, with if it wasn't for Scotty, man, I wouldn't be here. Those guys thought I was a company guy. But Scotty went ahead and kind of like that letter of recommendation. And he talked to Mikey. Mikey reached out to Jerry. Like, "Yeah, man, he really wants to do it." And he goes, "Oh yeah, man, you're in." I was like, "Oh yeah," and that's I never looked back.
Yeah, yeah, wow. Well, what a beautiful story. Scotty Dachroeden, previously on I Ask No One. He was one of my first people I got to sit down with in this one-man passion project of mine. And I previously had Paige Hamilton on of Helmet,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And what a fun chat that was. Scotty would tell me during our episode that, "Oh yeah, yeah, if Paige comes on your show, you're a good guy in my book." And this
Yeah.
is the height of the pandemic, and he gave me his time. What a nice, great human being. And that's all I hear, after his passing a year or two ago, the tributes that came out. If you could just educate our viewers on the legacy and the impact. I know you just mentioned, but a little bit more on Scotty Dachroeden, aka Doc, and his photography piece too.
Oh man. Well, like you said, there probably wasn't a better human being, and nor will there be, in my opinion, of somebody so giving and gracious, to walk this planet. You know, again, just like a kid. I say a kid, but a guy that just gives them a call, that really wanted to stick with a camp, that made them feel warm and welcome. And within just a couple sentences, and he's like, "Call you right back." So that just goes to show you, he give you the shirt off his back. Regarding his photography, um, the last tour that we did together, he goes, "Hey man, I want you to shoot beside me," because he just got a new Sony camera, and he has this. I'm not a photographer, by the way, full disclosure. He lent me his, I think it's a Canon 5D, and a very expensive lens. And he goes, "I want you to shoot right beside me on this Alice tour." And so having excuse me, never really shot at all. I know nothing about photography. I still don't. But he kind of showed me the ropes. And you guys know, I mean, he's worked with Tool, Zombie, obviously Alice for 14 years. And his photography is, in my opinion, bar none, man. The guy is just, he had an eye, he had the angle. And you think on the latest Alice record, even, I think the camera that he let me borrow, which I now have actually, I think did a lot of the the artwork and the shots on the Rainier Fog album, I believe. A lot of really cool shots of Jerry that I think were just recently posted through a couple websites. Yeah, Scotty did almost all of the photography. And if you've seen any Alice pictures within the past probably 10 to 15 years, chances are they came from Scotty. So yeah, man, he is sorely missed through not only obviously our camp with Alice, but I know the Tool guys. I know Justin. He looked after Justin. I'm sure Justin misses him tremendously. Along with the zombie camp, he worked for Piggy D. Him and Piggy were really tight. Yeah, man, just huge loss. And I can talk about Scotty, for the duration of your program. I really could, but. Cool thing is, I'll grab this real quick, so bear with me a moment. I got a gift from Shaun Kinney, along with a few of other of us. This is really rad. This comes, it's not the one that Shaun used, but this is a reproduction of the Drumhead, the kick head that Shaun used on our last tour. And Keenan, who I mentioned, his nephew, along with drum tech Ian, another really dear friend of both Scotty and us, mine, the rest of us, put this thing together, and a lot of us got these drum heads for Christmas, and I bawled like a little girl when that thing showed up. It's not stage played, but they had it made and sent that out to us. So yeah, man, he made an impact on all of us. I wouldn't be here without Scotty.
Yeah, beautiful tribute. May Scotty live forever, and him and his family. He raved about, and his lady friend. But I'll include
Irina.
a link. What was her name? I'm sorry.
Irina.
Arena. That's right.
Irina is a female version of Scotty. Amazing
hair too, right?
Not like Scotty. Scotty had dreads that literally drug the ground.
Yeah. We talked about how his dreads would hit the concrete when he's motorcycling with Shaun Kinney, and like I said, it was the height of the pandemic. And
oh man, I got a story about that too, where we avoided disaster. We were in Croatia on a motorcycle tour. Me, Shaun, Scotty, Herb, Henry Trejo, which was with us for a while, looking after Will. He had to get like a double X helmet, because Scotty's he had a big old head like me anyway, but with all that hair pulled up. We're going through the countryside, and we actually stopped at a castle. On the way there, I noticed that his hair was getting really close to the sprocket, and I couldn't get him to pull over fast enough. What's going on? And the rest of the guys saw, like, oh, pull over, because if his hair would have got caught in the sprocket, oh man, it'd be like some Final Destination shit. So, yeah, man, that hair was infamous, especially when you're walking through the bunk at 4:00 in the morning and you don't see him, and you step on him. You're like, what the?
That's craziness. Yeah, he's still making me smile when I think about him, dude. And yeah, we got John Carver here, roadie extraordinaire with currently Alice in Chains. Seether coming up, but John sold me this shirt just last year at the town ball.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
sick shirt. I was gonna get a double X, but you told me to get an XL because it fit me a little bit better. So hey,
it makes the guns look good.
Yeah,
looking good there.
And let's see. Yeah, so with Jerry, I got you got some souvenirs. I've got a Jerry Cantrell wah pedal.
Oh, nice, man.
It matches the fly here, just a little tell. And then just has
Did he sign that, or did he sign that?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. That's right.
Yeah. Someday. Awesome. I mean, he's just got, as far as tones go and the way he hangs notes is just, especially on this here. So this was played, this is not behind glass yet, but this was played in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Nice. That's like the hometown show. That's cool.
Yeah, not many people know that Jerry Cantrell is actually from Oklahoma,
right.
And Tacoma, and then Seattle, and I think now LA. But yeah, played Cut You In and Sea of Sorrow in this guitar.
Okay.
Wanted to show
he would play a couple songs that would vary. I know he played my song quite a bit on that guitar, which I thought was pretty cool. But no, I got that exact same guitar. I took one home with me from tour. However, mine is not played. But Herb set it up, so I'll riff on it a little bit, and it's his setup, his specs, so it's pretty cool.
It's got some of his worn out marks here from soloing, which is just just the coolest. I'm gonna put it back down because I feel like like degrading it or some shit.
Ah,
But
man, don't sell yourself short.
Cantrell, what's one word to describe Jerry Cantrell of Alice in Chains?
Holy shit. Um, well, I guess as a fan's perspective, like if I go back to like middle school, high school, I'd have to just say epic. But being that he's a dear friend, I'd have to say one word, just brother. You know, fan side, just he's just an epic human being, epic guitarist. But like Mikey and the rest of those guys, I everything I have is due to those guys now. I've been with them for years. Yeah, brother.
Yeah, sounds like such a nice, warm, welcoming camp. I mean, they go out with you, the merch guy.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've never been to Europe before. Alice in Chains, like you're one of us. Come with us. I'm like, holy shit, I get to go to Europe. What bands take the merch guy early on in their career with them to Europe?
that's insane. And
Yeah,
you're motorcycling with them around the countryside and shit.
yeah, man, it was that was the coolest thing. That was literally one of, if not the best day off too. Just riding motorcycles through the Croatian countryside and visiting legitimate castles, that are older than our country that we currently live in. It was awesome. Yeah, something I'll never forget and cherish forever. Yeah, really cool.
Amazing. Have you heard any of the new Jerry Cantrell stuff? Because he told me himself in the Snake Pit in LA, it's on the other side of the token of what Brighton was. It's going to be heavier. And he mentioned that to me 2 times. Yeah, it's going to be heavy.
I
Which
don't know
by the
when
way
this is
was
gonna
so
air. I
so
don't know when
cool
it's,
of him.
yeah, when it's gonna air. I've been fortunate to hear that much. Um, and I'm not gonna disclose where it's BS. I'm not gonna say a word. But anyway, yeah, what I heard I liked. It's heavy. I think everybody's gonna like it.
It's good enough
I'm
for
looking
me.
forward to it. I don't know when it's coming out. I do know I think it's pretty polished. It should be coming out soon. Um, but yeah, that's all I know. I got to hear a quick. It's I was like, ooh, I like that. All right, let's go. So we'll see, man. Yeah.
Killer. Yeah, I asked him for a picture and he kindly said, "Oh, he reached in his pocket and he gave me a guitar pick." And I've
Yeah.
got that right over there.
Yeah. Yeah. Every guy's got their kind of do's and don'ts. That's one of his things. Yeah.
Yeah, totally get it, understand. And I left there with a fat fucking grin on my face after just literally just standing there and just shooting the shit. Cause I know when we were doing our meet and greet in Ram's Head, which Jerry does remember that venue, it was
Mhm.
really, hey, what's up? Picture. And then the next guy. This one was just a chill. Instead of having 30 people to go through, it was more relaxed and it was
And that's one of the unfortunate things with these meet and greets too. When we're on the road, man, that's our office. We're working in his schedule like anybody else in his shoes. They've got media, they've got radio. There's stuff that is going on. It's down to a schedule. So I mean, it feels like a cattle call because it kind of is, and it sucks for the fan. But at the same time, I can see every single fan because I have to deal with them individually as well. That they're excited, and looking back as if I was a kid in their shoes, I'd be like, man, this is awesome. Time slows down for them. For me now, being uh, part of the machine, it seems like it's really quick, and it kind of is. But it's just we try to stick to a schedule because like after we're done, he's got to go and do media or something, an online interview, whatever it is, whatever the tour manager and management has lined up with him. So, but yeah, it's a really cool thing that he's incorporated. I think that gives fans a little bit more of an intimate look of kind of what goes on throughout the day and a chance to meet their hero. And he's cool, man. He's a super chill, laid back guy.
yeah, he definitely seems it. And man, we're talking right now because of the customer service you gave me and us that day. You weren't process focused at all. You were fun. I'm in real estate, residential real estate, so it's nice to take that hat off and just plug into rock and roll time and a little bit of Mortal Kombat time with you.
Sure,
Um,
man.
but man, it was you could easily become just we the fans could become numbers, and it's just you made it fun. So I think that's
I
they
appreciate
made a
that.
yeah, dude. Yeah, they
Yeah.
made a great decision having you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And I take a sip of my water. I look down here at my holder, and I
Oh, I never. even when I was a kid, I never got to see him. I wish I would have gotten a chance to know him. Uh, yeah, yeah. For those that don't know by chance, Lane Staley. Um, I've heard some stories over the years in my career about Lane, some pretty damn funny through Shaun. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I just get a trip because I go to put my water down, you got Lane looking, which we were talking about Dirt and some of the records he was a part of in the Alice in Chains history. Uh, Will has been just an amazing continuation, hasn't he?
Will's great. A lot of things a lot of people don't know really about Will is his extensive background in music, especially punk. He's been around the block, and he wasn't somebody that won an online contest become the vocalist of Alice in Chains. Will is a very accomplished vocalist. I remember when I wasn't around, I wasn't with the band at this time, but when Black Was Way to Blue came out, one of my good buddies got it the day it came out, and he goes, "Check this shit out," and I was like, "How's that?" You know, and he put it in, and he goes, "Close your eyes and listen." I'm like, "All right." I'm like, I was like, "Are these like unreleased tracks? What is it?" I mean, because him and Jerry's harmonies, which Alice has been known for between him and Lane, um, spectacular. Never, in my opinion, ever going to be able to be duplicated in that genre of music. It's on another level, man. But I couldn't believe it. Blew my mind. I was like, "Holy shit!" And then getting to know Will, because I had no idea who Will DuVall was prior to working with him, but getting a chance to spend time with him, and man, he goes back to some pretty deep roots of punk rock with bands he's been in. And then him and Jerry actually have a long history too. It wasn't, like I said, like he won a contest to join the band. There was actually a friendship and rapport there long before him joining the band. So yeah, and it's sweetheart of a guy too. um, I'll be honest, the first couple years though, being the new guy, we really didn't talk like hey in passing. We really didn't hang out to like the past few years, to be honest with you. And that's when we got hurry up. My phone, sorry. He is very, very down to earth, very soft spoken. He is, yeah, top notch, man. All four of those guys are, I consider, family, and just an amazing vocalist.
Yeah, yeah, he really is. And you're giving me the chills talking about Black Gives Way to Blue because I got the CD a few days before it came out when I was going to school down south in St. Augustine, Florida, Flagler College. And All Secrets Known, man, that is still one of my twin brother and I's favorite songs. And
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, man, and some of the deep cuts that they play from time to time, which I wish they'd do a little more often. But like when they do like Love Hate Love, which is considered probably one of the hardest songs to sing, um, man, he gets in there, gets in the pocket, and just lets it rip. It's kudos to that. First time I heard that, I was like, "Oh, at Scotty." He's like, "Holy shit!" He goes, "Right."
yeah, yeah, the Love Hate Love was amazing that Will did, and Right Turn. I think they did Right Turn maybe a few years ago or something like that. Um,
um, Man, yeah, there's a lot of tunes that
Rotten
I
Apple.
guess my inner fan, I guess my inner 15, 16-year-old was like, man, I wish they'd play this from time to time. Um, but I've heard some of shit's hard to sing, man. And to do it justice, I can understand why sometimes they'll be like, maybe not today type thing. But when they do break it out, it's just like, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, one of my favorite things on I Ask No One, and again, we're here with John Carver with the Alice in Chains camp and Seether camp, um, is, I'm never going to meet Lane either, or Kurt Cobain, or Chris Cornell, or Chester Bennington slapped him up in the Sunset Strip Music Festival 11 years ago, which was so cool. But for every new subscriber, I donate to the American Foundation Suicide Prevention. I am on the board of directors here in Western New York, and
great.
I give the occasional presentation, yeah, yeah, educating, advocating for the cause and the mission. There's 75 chapters in the country, and anyone who's struggling, you yourself, you need an unbiased ear, call 988. There's always someone that's trained to hear you out. And I think of Chris Cornell. And I think of Alice in Chains, and Will's tribute to him after he passed was Hunted Down, and Boot Camp played at Rock on the Range amazing covers. I'm going to include a link below to that. But if I may ask, maybe how suicide or depression or mental health has impacted you, John, in this lifetime.
Yeah. I know we spoke about that, and I'll be brief. When I was still in my 20s, when I started getting into learning to play music or teach myself how to play music, I met a kid that was a little younger than me. Um, Amazing drummer, man. His name was Tony Pepper. Good kid, and we started playing some music together. And believe it or not, we actually in St. Louis at a place that venue doesn't exist anymore. But we won a battle of the bands. I was on acoustic guitar and he was on a bass against full bands, and I couldn't believe it because my music sucks. but he was a drummer by trade because just fantastic musician. Had a kind of a almost like a Taylor Hawkins vibe to him. Man, he would just beat the shit out of these tubs in a good way. Just energy. But anyway, he succumbed to his demons about 9 years ago now, and after that, I kind of hung it up myself. I didn't write another note, and kind of just went another path. Good, bad, or indifferent, but here we are. So,
Yes.
and he's also missed. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. And if you're listening, you're struggling, it's always good to talk it out. You are not alone. It's a temporary feeling. I'm no stranger to those thoughts. I take my medicine every single day. Not ashamed to share that. So, John, thanks a lot for sharing, man. I appreciate that. And may your buddy live forever.
A pleasure.
I got something for you. And
Oh yeah.
I was gonna wait until I saw you in person, but I can't wait. So
Okay.
upcoming, you got a tour coming up here in the spring, summertime. Jerry Cantrell is going out with Bush and Candlebox. Uh,
Yes. Yeah.
how
Yeah. First
sick
show, I
is
think
that?
July 27th. I think first show.
Okay. Yeah,
Couple.
coming, Kevin Martin of Candlebox, he was one of the first famous people that ever gave me a shot to come and shoot the shit with me on I Ask No One. I'm in debt to him, and it's really
Oh,
cool
that's
to
great,
see
man.
him, right?
That's very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, dude. He loves bread, by the way. He loves making bread. So if you see him,
Oh,
uh,
okay.
get him some, I don't know, get him a nice loaf of bread. And
Well,
trust,
we'll put that in on bus stock or one of the riders for one of the shows. Give him a nice loaf of sourdough or something.
yeah, it'll catch him off guard, but
I didn't
he'll,
know that. Okay, I'll keep that in
how'd you
mind.
know? You know?
It's a long story, but just go with it.
Yeah, yeah. That guy Kevin from Buffalo, New York. But you're surrounded by some really epic pieces behind you. You talk about Jerry Cantrell being epic. You got some
Oh,
fucking epic shit. And also, I think you need to put this on your wall.
holy shit! Check that out. Wow, where did you get that?
Get over
Ed Boon himself. No, that's sick, man. That is really cool. Is that a print or is that actual like hand art?
here. It's a canvas. It's a print.
Okay.
And it's just isn't that
Man,
badass?
sick. Yeah. You know what? I'll give you a quick run through here to in a, in a minute just to let you know. Yeah, I've got a lot of space between the machines because as a big Mortal Kombat fan, having grown up, through the early '90s playing these games, I could push them together to make more. Because I do have more games coming. We've only got like 10, 12 games down here right now. We got another three coming probably before I go on tour with Seether in the next 2 weeks. But I kept the space because the side art on these games are just so awesome. But
Yes. Yeah, I can't hide that.
I know I don't really want to put, but I'm thinking if that's for me, man, I might put that in between one of the cabinets because I got some other really cool art along with some Alice memorabilia and Supercross stuff. I mean, the basement arcade is just being filled with games now, but the artwork hasn't gone up yet. Like I'm gonna hang. I got a really cool 1990 skee ball machine along with one of the Alice in Chains posters that are all Scotty's photos that the boys had signed and I got framed. So I was gonna hang Scotty up and his poster next to the skee ball. So like all the art and stuff in here hasn't been up yet. So it's like a 90s kids bedroom, but exaggerated for sure. I got a beanbag with a CRT TV and the Nintendos. I've got a Galaga Pac-Man 20th anniversary right next to me right here. I'll give you a quick tour if you like a little bit later, but no, that's good. If that's for me, thank you. That is rad. That is really cool.
Oh man,
That's,
definitely,
I
definitely.
appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, you're
That's
rolling through Lewiston, New York to Art Park, which is actually one of the coolest venues in Western New York with the sun setting
okay.
and everything. Um,
Okay.
but I'm gonna be in Minnesota on Metallica duty. I got my I Disappear pass, and I'm gonna be just
Oh,
going
nice.
all abouts for Metallica. But I want to see you on one of those dates. If anything, I'll have someone drop this off to you.
Okay, dude, that's awesome. That's really cool. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, man. Like I said, you left a good impression with me. I felt really, you know, it was a fun time at Rams Head, and
I
stayed in
appreciate it.
contact since then, and we've
Sure.
we've bonded on Mortal Kombat. So, I gotta say, man, I was in quick story. I was in line, Death Magnetic Tour, Metallica, and you show up early, and you rush the front, but when you show up early, you don't know who you're gonna run into or who you're going to be listening to for hours on end. And there
Right.
was someone that just could not stop talking, cannot stop talking. And I'm not one to, be like condescending, sarcastic or anything like that. It's not my nature. But I just needed to throw him a curveball just to maybe see if he would quiet down a little bit. And I was with my friends, and I point blank asked him, "Who is your favorite Mortal Kombat character?" Because mine's Cabal.
Okay.
He didn't know what to say. He walked away and it worked. Let me ask you, who is your favorite Mortal Kombat character?
Uh, I'm kind of a little bit of a mix. One of them you just held up. I guess it really maybe depends on the game, but probably overall maybe a Sub Zero. But I do like a good Scorpion. So again, it depends on the game. We talking one, two, three, even three.
Yeah, yeah, they are all different, and I'm glad I picked the right
You picked a
character.
good one, man. You picked a
Okay,
good one. Yeah, that's pretty
yeah,
iconic. That's I was gonna say if it wasn't for Sub, if he wasn't around, then I'd probably go Scorpion. So that's sick.
sweet. When in doubt in life, if life gives you lemons, John, just back
Oh,
little
somebody.
punch that shit, dude. Just back little punch it. You got
Back
a
back to the
goal?
punch.
Get over here. You
Right on.
do you like the movie too? The original 95?
It's funny you mentioned that because I think I watched it on a plane over the past maybe when's the last time? I think that last Cantrell tour we did when we went to Europe. It was on the plane. I was like, you know what? It was a long flight. Might as well watch a movie. So I thought I'd reintroduce myself to it. I'm like, this is just as cheesy as I thought. It was so bad. But I mean, they made that movie within like a year or two of the first game coming out. So I can't be mad at it because I'm a big fan of it. But the new one, I watched that recently. Was that a couple of years old? The newest one that came out.
Yeah, I actually have not
Uh,
seen any of the new
Never
ones
seen
yet.
that one yet. Okay, it's
No.
I'd probably give like a maybe 7.6 out of 10.
Okay. A little
You
less
know,
cheesier.
yeah, the cheesy factor's gone down, and with technology now, almost 30 years later, has gotten way better. So, but it still sticks kind of sort of close to the MK storyline, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, but you played Mortal Kombat back when you've accumulated these original arcades. Like,
Yeah.
do you just when you can't sleep at night, just go fuck off and play some, or have you memorized fatalities?
It took me a minute because when you're a kid in the early 90s, there was no internet, right? We kind of predated the internet. Um, oh, I got an update here. One second. I'm sorry. Um, let's see if I'm still here. Oh, sorry. A little technical difficulty. I had some Adobe thing pop up here.
All good, homie.
All right. We still good though?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. At least we got that going. Um, Fatality wise, I actually had to get on my phone and kind of look stuff up um, because I just couldn't really remember the simple ones, Sub Zero, Scorpion. But when you start getting into like Mortal Kombat 3 with the combos and MK4, honestly, I never played. I think that came out like 97. I was already, almost out of high school at that point. I was racing motocross. So, and then arcades and malls were already kind of going the way of the dodo because home consoles and stuff were taking over. Like I think PlayStation was just coming out that year. I believe, or we were close to it, that with the PS1. So everybody was getting more and more involved in home gaming versus going to arcades. But yeah, man, they're a blast. They're an absolute blast. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah. It's Masuda Chow's, Johnny Chow here. He's the bassist of Stone Sour.
Yeah.
Um, he's got an arcade, and that's always a good time to show up there, play a little Mortal Kombat or some pinball. That's my kind of bucket list, is to, I don't know about 10, 12 arcade games back there, but at least having Mortal Kombat 3, because, you know, for a good time, if you're Cabal, just go far and then down, down, back forward, block, far,
Okay.
pumps the dude's head, you know, and then
Okay.
boom.
All
And
right.
then
I'll keep that in mind. I honestly, since I've had these down here, I started building this arcade about a year ago, February of last year, and MK1 and 2, were the first games I acquired, and then MK4 actually was before MK3. I
you've
actually
come a
drove.
long way, dude. I mean, you've made some progress.
Yeah, man. We in a year's time, you know, I get my mindset to something, that motivation we talked about before. I was like, I'm all or nothing. I can't really half-ass anything. I either do it and I go full bore, or I don't do it at all. And that's pretty much anything. When I'm working out, dirt bikes, hockey, arcade game, whatever. I can't. Kind of like Jerry. He's very competitive, by the way. So when I'm doing something, I try to give it everything I got and then some.
Yeah, don't half-ass it. You full-ass that shit.
Yeah, use your full ass. I got
Yeah.
plenty of ass behind me too. So
Yeah, you got to use full ass when squatting, and
yeah,
just
don't ever skip leg days, boys and
no,
girls.
no, never skip leg days. I've gotten into calisthenics these days, so just body weight stuff, and um but yeah, dude, I love how much you're into your Mortal Kombat in your basement there in St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis, I've never been to.
I'll give you a quick rundown. And yeah, if you ever come to St. Louis, I'm only about 40 minutes south of the city. Um, this video still all right? I know. Here, I can actually turn some light on too while I'm walking around. All right, cool. Does that wash it out at all? All right,
You're
cool.
good. Yeah, looks good.
All right, man. So yeah, this is an original dedicated MK1. It's running the T uh, MK2. Oh, right there. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've got a front-facing camera. I can't see it. So I had a revision 3.0 on this, but my buddy out east, if you ever heard of Mortal Kombat Plus, so this is actually running the MK2 Plus. So you can play the secret characters like Smoke, Jade, Noob, which is kind of rad. So I'll switch boards out. I'll put the original board, the 3.0, back in here from time to time to be nostalgic and keep original to the cabinet. But MK2 Plus is, if you've never played it, try to get your hands on one or look it up on YouTube. Pretty badass. This, a buddy of mine in San Jose cabinet, and it is restored to.
You got that original fucking marquee there.
Yeah, yeah. So you can edit that in post. I'll run back over that. So yeah, so that I got from a buddy of mine in San Jose. He redid this cabinet. It's an original MK3 cabinet. I kept the MK3 marquee because it gives that kind of post-apocalyptic, very cool marquee. But it is running the revision 1.0 UMK3 board. So pretty awesome. This MK4 that I found is really rad. It is all original artwork. The only thing that's been replaced is we had to go in LED because the ballast and the bulb went to shit. So you can see it's really washed out. You really can't see it. In person. It looks fantastic, but the marquee is really hard to see. But the original monitor had replaced the buttons and micro switches and buttons, joysticks. But other than that, though, box art, everything is original. The only thing replaced, like I said, buttons, joysticks, and the went to an LED on the monitor. I don't have these on because they're loud, unless I turn the volume all the way down. But
He's on fire.
NBA Jam Tournament Edition, original artwork, by the way, on this, which was kind of cool. Just had to replace a couple joysticks. The others are original. Some of the buttons were replaced. Silver Strike Bowling. A lot of people love this. A lot of fun. Another trackball game. Hydro Thunder, original artwork. I did replace the marquee, but this is another
Hydro Thunder.
Exactly, man. A lot of fun. And then this one I had restored. This is the class of 81, 20-year reunion, Pac-Man Galaga. where I had my computer set while we were talking earlier. I'm sitting on a pedestal 2022 Golden Tee. And then when I have people over, this is filled with all kinds of treats, edibles and such for my
Okay.
neighbors.
Well, that's
Because
fun.
I'm sober, but when they come over, I'll like pump some money in this gumball machine. And then we've got the 1990 real deal full size 10-foot skee ball, which is a lot of fun. And then got the old TV and the Nintendo and my beanbag chair. My basement is just like I said, it's a 90s kids, dream bedroom, if you will. So
Yeah, yeah, it looks it, man. Oh my God, it's incredible.
yeah, man. So
Carver's Cave. Carver's
yeah,
Cave.
yeah. It's just a place to get away. I don't go out and do much anymore. I don't go to bars. Being sober, I really don't go out and do much anymore. I just my hobbies: hockey, motocross, obviously video games.
Yeah,
So
sweet. Dude, if I ever actually, I will find myself at some point coming to St. Louis to a show or to see the Sabres play the Blues, and we'll just
totally.
go game for game. And
I'm not very good. I'm okay against the computer, but playing, I'm not very good. I'm an enthusiast. I love the game, but I'm sure you would mop the floor with me.
brother, I suck too. I mean, one of my favorite things I mean, do I suck? Yeah, I think I probably suck. It really depends, like whether there's darts or pool, how I'm feeling it on the day of. But yeah, I'd love to come by and check that shit
Oh,
out.
good time, man. Yeah, if I'm home, just hit me up. Going by, doors open. Of
Thanks, Johnny.
course.
Yeah, we got John Carver here, and yep, you sold me this shirt, and this just so happened to be I purchased this Town Ballroom Buffalo, Jerry Cantrell rolling through town with a band called was it Thunder Pussy?
Was that the Thunder Pussy tour? Those guys are
Yes.
fucking rad. Those guys are awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, what
yeah,
a
yeah.
band name. Yes, Thunder
Yep,
Pussy.
yep. It's a I believe 4-piece, all chicks, and they will kick your ass in every way of the word. It's awesome. Yeah, they're great people.
That was a really fun night, but you had to go take a piss, right? So you asked me to stand behind the table
Oh, did
and
I?
yes.
Right. I
Yep.
appreciate that, man. Yeah.
And I put my beer down and I just stood there and I had some moments where fans were coming up to me and they talk to you, right? They talk to you like you're part of the band or you get some really enthusiastic people. So I got a little dose of that. I thought that was so cool, man, that you were comfortable enough to have me do something like that.
Yeah, I think maybe part of that Scotty rubbed off on me. He was a really super good judge of character. He could tell within a second if you were a pant load or if you were a good egg. And yeah, so I appreciate that because once you get to work, man, it's really hard to break away to even take a piss. So
Yeah,
thanks for
right.
looking out.
No problem, man. You've probably had some pretty weird fan experiences over the years. Does anything stand out to you?
Oh man. Well, maybe some I can talk about and some I can't talk about. I'll tell you one since we're on the subject of Cantrell. Um, and if this person ever happens to watch it, I apologize, but no names are given, no pictures, so whatever. Um, it was really weird. We kind of snickered at it. A grown man, and I can appreciate it, man. You're meeting your hero, but it's just kind of weird watching a grown man come to tears and start crying in a very awkward manner, meeting somebody. I guess it sounds bad. I'm not making fun of the person. I'm really not, but it was just kind of off-putting because you just really never see that. But looking back on it, I'm kind of like, you know what, man, this guy he's super excited to meet somebody that obviously had an impact on his life. Um, but just for the sake of the question, just off the top, I was like, we thought that was really strange at first, but looking back on it, it's kind of like, all right, man, that okay, you can't make fun of it. The guy's obviously went through something, and the man has impacted him in a way that I've never experienced. So but outside of like just chicks throwing their bras and panties on stage, or seeing guys throw up from whether it be heat or in the pit, from being drunk. I mean, just normal stuff. But yeah, nothing. Thank God, nothing too crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Someone's that passionate enough to meet Jerry Cantrell. That's really special shit.
Yeah. What I mean, I bring that up just because I'm I deal with emotion a little bit differently,
Yeah,
and to
right.
see a big guy, and I'm a big guy, kind of brought to tears. Like, no, there's no crying in baseball, you know.
Yeah.
So it was just real and very humbling, looking back on it, hindsight for sure. But it was just one of those. Just it was recent, so
Yeah,
but
I gotcha. I know
yeah,
I shared Jerry with my buddy Mike Holden. He passed away, my very good buddy. Took his own life, and Jerry
sorry.
signed Holden to Holden on the vinyl and presented it to his parents, and they
Oh
just
wow,
that. Yeah.
no, that was very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jerry has rightfully so has impacted so many goddamn lives out there with his beautiful songwriting. Um, but rewarding moments, John. I know you've mentioned a few of them, but in your music career and your career thus far, hey, maybe that includes ice hockey or bodybuilding or motocross. What stands out to you as the most rewarding things that you've gone through?
It's a good question, man. Um, I think when I think of anything rewarding personally, man, I don't think of anything that has um, benefited myself. I would say that if I've inspired or helped others, that's the rewarding part. So now I get fulfillment. I go out and hit a jump that I've been striving to do, on a motocross track. Cool, that's awesome, but that's not, in that realm. Ice hockey, again, it's fun. Maybe helping somebody, learn how to skate. Had a little bit of that before, so that's rewarding. When I'm not on tour or dealing with arcade stuff, I'm a performance driving instructor on the side too. So I get paid to show people how to drive, pretty cool cars on a racetrack fast. So that's actually very rewarding, getting to have people drive a car that a lot of people don't even get to sit behind the wheel of, more or less drive, and then just seeing their expression on their face, which actually, I'm gonna have to try to find it, but Dale Stewart from Seether, good buddy of ours, him and Scotty came down to Atlanta Motorsports Park one year. I think it was actually maybe in 2020. I think it was during the pandemic. There's a company that I contract with that you can sign up and drive Porsches, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and stuff. And Dale and Scotty came down because we weren't touring, and we do 3 laps at a time, and you got Scotty behind the wheel of I think we drove like 3 or 4 cars between the new Corvette, the Porsche. I think we did a Lambo. I think we did a Ferrari 488. So seeing the excitement of these guys behind the wheel, for example, 2 of my really good friends, as well as the general public, people that come and sign up and do this, just seeing them gain some confidence, maybe learn some driving skills, but just the ear to ear grins on these people. I get rewarded that way. I really like seeing people get amped up and excited. Same thing like when they come to see a show, right? When you guys come and see Jerry, the excitement of these people's faces when they get to meet their hero, and then they're really stoked when the show goes on, and even afterwards, the buzz. Even me as a fan, going to some shows sometimes, that high you get, leaving a show. So getting to please other people in that regard is a really big reward in my case. Yeah, I really get
Killer.
to.
So are you talking about like Formula One racing or what kind of
Oh
cars are
god,
you talking?
it's funny. I remember Cantrell like, "You ever drive one of those?" Because we were walking through a casino and F1 was on. I was like, "Fuck, I wish, Jerry. Thanks for having that kind of confidence in me." But no, mostly street cars. If any race car would be like more considered like GT3 class, like if you're familiar with road motorsport at all, like IMSA racing. It's like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Le Mans, the road going cars, not the prototypes. Like manufacturers cars, Porsches, Audis, Corvette, stuff like that.
Are you a Paul Walker guy or a Vin Diesel guy?
Uh, Man, I guess it would depend on the day. Um,
I live
I
for
know
this shit.
I'm a muscle car guy, so I kind of lean more towards Vin Diesel with that. I respect Paul Walker. I never got a chance to meet any of those guys. Funny you mentioned it. Actually, a buddy of mine was in that first movie. Actually, I think he was in a couple of them. He's from St. Louis. His name's Matt, and his character was Vince in the Fast and Furious movie, which is kind of funny you bring that up.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, his name's Matt Schultz. And he's he's got a really big part in the first movie. And again, St. Louis guy, really cool.
Yeah. Well, Richard
I,
Fortus.
yeah, Rich, great
He's
guy.
a St. Louis guy too. I was just
Yeah, he is. He is. Yep. Hell of a guitarist, man. That guy rips.
Yep.
For sure.
Former guest on I Ask No One, Guns N' Roses, been with them for over 20 years now. It's crazy. But dude,
Wow.
with the cars and the bikes, do you have time to come show us your garage or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah. Let me know if I accidentally move something or hit mute or fuck this whole thing up.
Okay.
But yeah, I got to actually, that was earlier. That was my message. We actually, we got about another probably 25 minutes or so before I got to run. I'm taking anybody's watching. I got to take a buddy of mine to the airport.
Yeah, good
Speaking
friend.
of like speaking of like car instructor, he's a good buddy of mine, car instructor. So he's going, I think on the East Coast because they got some track events going on this weekend. So I apologize. It's going to be a little dark, but yeah, I'll take you up to the garage and then we can finish up down here if you like.
Yeah,
All right.
sure.
All right. So we kind of kick some lights on here.
Sure.
Walk out. My garage is a mess. I apologize.
No judgment zone, brother.
All right, man. I appreciate it. All right. Oh, it's nice and bright up here.
Oh,
Sunshine.
of your house. All right.
It's nothing special.
Oh.
But yeah, I not being married or having kids allows me to be able to do some pretty cool stuff,
Yeah.
like having cars and race dirt bikes and stuff. So you have your grocery getter Tahoe, your daily driver. This car's filthy. We had some really bad weather. This is an '06 Pontiac GTO, the first brand new car I ever bought in my life, which was interesting. I was a young kid doing concrete work in 2006 when I bought this car. This is the video all right? I don't know if you can see. Again, my garage is a mess. Up top, up top on the lift here, how well the camera on the computer is. But this is the 2019 Corvette ZR1. It's really hard to see. It's on a lift. It's kind of dark over here, but it is a front engine, rear drive, manual transmission, almost 800 horsepower track monster. But anybody that wants to learn a bit more about that car, just Google C7 ZR1. They only made it for 1 year. It's pretty rare. They made only like 2,900 of them. And this down below, I got this for my 40th birthday. Trying to get around here to see if you can even see it. But this is a 1969 Z28 Camaro. It's kind of tight in here, so I apologize.
Sweet.
Yeah, it is a very cool car. Fully restored by RBR Restorations out of Long Island, New York. This thing is immaculate. It is absolutely beautiful. I love this car so much. The license plate is thanks AIC, actually. So yeah, this is a really, really cool car. This is something that only goes out maybe a couple times a year. It's kind of a rolling museum piece. But yeah, I drive this one quite a bit. It gets maybe a couple track days a year. And yeah, man, it's a lot of fun. It's a good time. So when you get to St. Louis, man, we'll go for a ride. I'll take you for a rip and either one or both.
Fuck yeah, man. That sounds like a good time. Has Exhibit ever visited your house before?
Exhibit?
Exhibit, yeah, Pimp My Ride from MTV. Remember that shit?
Yeah, this took me a minute, man. Yeah. No, he's not. So,
okay.
But yeah, there's my filthy garage.
Dude, sick. It's a big garage. You made use of every little piece of space in there.
Yeah, and I would had the idea. I was like, maybe I'll get another car and put another lift in. I was like, yeah, it costs a lot of money. So
yeah,
we're just gonna kind of stay put with where we are. But yeah, I'll take you back downstairs. We'll go back to the basement arcade.
sure, dude. Yo, has anyone ever told you you look like Johnny Rzeznik from Goo Goo Dolls?
God damn you.
Without the facial like implants and shit.
It's really funny. A good buddy of mine that actually got me into doing merch from when I was a guitar tech was working for them a long time ago. And yeah, he would give me shit about it too. And Scotty would all the time. Scotty would bust my balls quite a bit. But the funny thing was is that if anybody else tried to give me shit, he would actually jump their ass and be like, "Hey, I give him shit. You don't." So, um, but yeah, I get that. I get Keith Urban a lot too. It's just, yeah, actually, you know what? I'm gonna go longer. Just gonna let it grow, let it do its own thing. Because it's the hair. I don't look, Keith Urban, that's a good looking man. I am not. So it's just the hair.
Dude, you are the Mortal Kombat version of Keith Urban now. That's
Hey,
funny.
there you go.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe we can get that into the next game.
Well, yeah, man, you have Seether coming up. Sean
Yeah.
Morgan, I take it he's a good dude.
Shaun's great. Yeah. It's funny because the Seether guys, they're all good dudes. I became friends with Dale through Scotty back in like 2020. So, there was no music going on. And the company I was working with regarding driving had a bit of a loophole, and they were able to still operate being a, non-essential business, obviously, which I thought that was great for people that could still get some form of entertainment and get out of the house and do something. And I was very grateful because I could go to work and still, pay the mortgage because we were out of work in the music business for almost 2 years, about 18 months or so. But Seether was one of the first bands to go back when things finally started to open back up again. So I get a phone call through a company, and they're like, hey, would you mind? And I was like, oh shit. I was like, yeah. I was like, actually, Dale's a buddy of mine now. This is almost a year later. I called Scotty. I was like, hey, Scotty, you might get a hold of Dale. And I just got an offer for Seether. He goes, fuck yeah, I'll call you right back. So we called Dale, and he goes, oh, that's rad. So their management and stuff got a hold of me, and then they're like, oh, we realized that you're friends with Dale. So it made the transition process really smooth, because funny story was that they wanted a resume, and they're getting some guy they never met before. They have no idea. It could be some Joe Schmo off the street. But it was really cool because of his recommendation, and Scotty again, man, just kind of laying the path. Got a hold of Dale, and Dale's like, nah, dude, he's one of the bros. And I was like, yeah. So it made that transition, because I've been with Alice that whole time, all those years. So it's like I really don't jump around anymore. But yeah, Seether coming up. Actually, I just booked my flight yesterday, so I'll be joining up with those boys in Nashville. We're going out, I think, in direct support of Stained. We'll be out with Stained for like right at a month. I'll be back here, I think, May 18th or so, mid to late May, and then home for a couple months and working on the Basement Arcade. And then yeah, we got Jerry coming up late July through like middle of September. So a lot of good stuff going on. I'm very, very fortunate, blessed, lucky. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. And what a tribute the past hour or so has been to Scotty Dachroeden, dude. Yeah, yeah, man. And it's pretty obvious the impact that he's had on you. I mean, he's partly the reason why, we've connected, and I think that's just so awesome, man. I just want to really thank you for your time and just shooting the shit with me.
Oh man, it was my pleasure. Absolutely. No, the pleasure is all mine.
Yeah, and to our viewers, if you found any value of of the many things that we spoke about, a like or subscribe, always appreciated. Look for John Carver out there, at the merch stand, at the meet and greets with Cantrell and
I'll be running
Alex.
Scotty's camera too. Probably I haven't even talked with the Seether guys yet, but I'll probably be shooting some of their stuff off side stage and down the pit with Jerry. I'm down there shooting him as well, getting shots everywhere. So whether it be swag, meet and greets, photography, which I'm no photographer, I've mentioned that before. Just yeah, man, just pull me aside, say hey, it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was at Event Sevenfold, and their crew people, they raved about you too. Their faces lit up when I mentioned John Carver.
Man, that makes me go all rubbery one. Stop it.
Well, yeah. To our viewers, yeah, stay happy, stay healthy, stay hungry, and stay motherfucking heavy. John, finish her. We'll see you, brother.
All right, man. It's good talking to you, Kev. All right. See everybody.
Peace.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.